So this is the plate that the new stubs will be mounting into, and right at the moment I'm just making this hole here, so it's got to be 39.95 ish for the stub to fit into, and then it'll be welded. So I've got it set up in the middle with the boring head. I've already used a hole saw to make the initial hole, and now I'm just taking it out a little bit at a time. So it's all pretty easy. Got the speed set about right. Got a pretty basic sort of brazed carbide tip, and it's working just fine. So get it down so it's just making contact. At the moment I'm making about a half mil depth of cut, so I'm winding it in one full turn on the adjustment. Yeah, so the boring head's cheapy from China, but perfectly capable of doing the job. Got the adjustment here, so each increment, as it says, is 0.01 millimeter. That's actual movement of the head. So if you do a full turn on this, it's half a millimeter. So this head moves half a millimeter. So that would result in a 1 millimeter larger hole. As you can see, the finish is fine. It'll be quite nice when it's done. So once I've done that, I'll transition across. I'll have to relocate the clamps and make the second hole. But yeah, pretty straightforward, and the results coming out quite good. Believe it or not, I was aiming for 39.95, so I reckon this is close enough. So this plate's now finished. The second hole turned out to be a whisker bigger than the first one, but the way this goes together will be these stubs go in here. They're both a reasonably good fit. So this will form the bottom of the plenum chamber between the intercooler core, this side, the bottom, and these throttle bodies. Part two with it all together. Hang on. Okay, so now it's fitted. The parts are fitted together. What will happen is I'm going to weld around the outside edge of these to fix each of these stubs to this plate. Now I made this plate 5 mil thick just to give it some strength, so that when you're pushing it in, they're not jamming up. They're reasonable fit into these rubber boots. Actually, the rubber boots are being just a bit of radiator hose. It's the right size. And off this will come side plates, 2 mil thick aluminium, and the turbocharger, the intercooler will be fitted at some position above that. So yeah, I'm going to fabricate I'll weld that on there next, and then probably dummy it up out of cardboard actually, just to get the basic shapes, cut it out of aluminium, and then weld that up onto this plate so that it'll actually form the plenum, for want of a better word, which will then have this welded onto it. So this whole thing will become part of the intercooler. On the other side will be a tube out the bottom beside this, going down to the turbocharger, and then across the top where the air from the turbocharger comes up, it'll go across through another little chamber I make down here into a chamber, and then into these hopefully it'll be good. Right, more work to do. Alright, I've finished welding it. No surprise to anybody. It's not real pretty. I need to play with the settings on the welder. It's I cleaned and prepared it immaculately, but it was still not welding all that well. In the end, I just ended up like here. You can see I've just fused it because I had a good lip on the funnel on the spigot, so I just fused it in. It's strong. It's not going to come apart, but it's not that pretty. But you know, it's going to be just fine, I think, and it will be inside the chamber, the plenum, so you won't be able to see it. Hopefully, with a bit of practice, I'll get the welds for when I fabricate the actual chamber that this fits to. I'll get a bit better at it. Be difficult to get much worse. Anyway, it's stuck together. Ugly as, but it's not going to come apart.